Hi Michelle, how are you today?
I'm okay.
What's going on? What brings you in today?
Well, my son and I are having a really difficult time. He hasn't talked to me in about 2 months, and the last time that we spoke, he said that he never wanted to talk to me again. And yeah, I'm just very, very disappointed.
Wow, I mean that sounds like a lot. I'm sure I know how close you and your son are, and not speaking to him, I'm sure is really, really tough on you.
Yeah, I do care about him very much, and he knows that. He knows how much I care about him, and I'm constantly telling him how much I care about him. And he's out there in Colorado just doing destructive things, and I just have no words. I just have no words for it.
Sure. I want to reflect back on you saying that you were disappointed. What are some things that he's doing that's making you disappointed?
Well, it started out that he was going to decrease some of the classes that he was taking because he felt like he was getting overwhelmed. And so I let him decrease his class hours from 18 to 12. And then after that, then I noticed that he wasn't calling me as much. And every time that I called him, he sounded like he was hungover, or sick or something else. And I don't really know for sure, but I've been hearing from my daughter that he has been smoking marijuana, and that he isn't doing very well, and that's why he has basically stopped going to his classes. I've even been told by my daughter that that he's not going to class some days and just hanging out with his friends, smoking marijuana, drinking, going to parties. So it feels like a disaster. So I tried to tell him on the phone that it's so destructive for him to do that. It's a stupid decision and could ruin his life. And after a while of talking, he told me that he doesn't want to hear it and that he's not going to talk to me again. And I try calling him over and over again, and he won't pick up. He won't answer my texts, and I'm worried sick about him.
Sure, I think that's completely normal. I mean, you love your son clearly and you want what's best for him. What would him failing look like for you?
Failing? I don't even want to think about that. That's not an option for him because he was raised better than that. There's no reason for him to fail. That's why I'm so worried about this destructive behavior, because there's no reason for him to fail. Even if he just takes some time off of classes or needs to work or do some kind of hobby or whatever it is that he needs to get it all out, fine, but he doesn't need to just fail and give up, you know? And that's what it feels like he's doing.
Yeah. When you talked with him about it before, did you explain to him like the way you're explaining it to me now, like say like I know that you're overwhelmed right now, but that doesn't mean you have to fail? Or was it just don't fail?
I think I tried to communicate to him that I was worried about him and that I care about him. And I even said that I love him, but it wasn't as nice as it's coming out to you right now. It definitely sounded more stern, and there probably was an element of you cannot fail, because, like I said, there is no reason to. It just doesn't make sense. But the path that he's headed down, it could happen.
Yeah, it almost sounds like he's kind of self-medicating, maybe. I mean, with him being overwhelmed and then like smoking the weed, I'm wondering if he's doing it to calm his nerves, and that maybe there's a simpler solution for that.
That could be. It really could be. Our family is very high achieving. My daughter goes to Oxford, and she's very close with him too. And growing up, they both had really excellent grades. They were both on sports teams. But yeah, I mean, maybe the stress has just gotten to him, and I tried to be understanding, letting him take the class load down or whatever he needed, but not this.
Yeah. What ways do you think that you can communicate that with him in the nice way that you just explained it to me, in like that loving and caring way?
Hmm. I don't know. I I do just want to say, like, I love you and I care about you, and would you please just make a good decision? But then he won't know.
Yeah.
Then he won't know everything that I'm thinking
Yeah.
about it, and maybe he won't understand really how dangerous it is for him to be going down this path.
Yeah.
And he might think it's an excuse. Well, my mom loves me, so I might as well just do whatever because she's always going to love me. So I just don't want that to happen.
Yeah. Maybe you could try telling him that, your success doesn't have to match mine. He might be trying to match your success and might be feeling the pressure and feeling like you might not love him if he doesn't meet that.
But how can he think that? How could he think that I'm trying to get him to be like me?
Maybe it's just a way of communicating. I mean, the way that you're saying it to me right now, I can feel that you love him. I definitely do. But maybe you need to express that to him just so he feels more of the love and less of the pressure.
I could try to do that. And I think it would be hard, and I don't, at least at this point, I don't know how I would do it. I guess I would just leave a voicemail. I would call his number, or maybe leave him a Facebook message or something like that, and just, I mean, there's nothing wrong with telling your son you love him. So I could just say that and not say anything else.
And what I was going to suggest, because sometimes writing things down kind of just lets it out. I can feel in this room how much pressure you're feeling on yourself, for yourself and for your son. I wonder if just writing your feelings down, how that would feel, and maybe sending it to him in a personalized letter, making it more, you, and very loving and motherly.
The feelings of being worried and but loving him, and yeah, not the feelings of feeling like he can't fail, because I don't want to be another source of pressure for him. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I just feel I feel defeated and lost. Like I don't know what else to do at this point. And yeah, I feel overwhelmed. He feels overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed. And yeah, I don't know.
Was there ever a time when you were his age, or maybe a little bit later in life, where you experienced any sort of failure that might be building this fear?
Yeah, definitely. So growing up, my parents were actually not very involved. And so pretty much all throughout grade school and even through high school, I personally didn't really achieve much. I wasn't pushed or challenged, or I never worked in my strengths. But once I got out of high school, I started working at Starbucks, which was just the simplest experience. But then I realized through that experience that there was so much more, that there was opportunity for me to grow into higher positions and get paid more and get benefits, and I really wanted that for my kids. So I went back to school. I kind of picked myself up by the bootstraps, and just went for it, and it worked out for me. I feel like I am pretty successful at this point, but with hard work, and that's something that I've taught my kids.
And that's a really great quality to have. It really is. So you kind of had to go from rock bottom in order to be where you are now and be successful. I wonder if maybe he would go in the same direction if you just loosened up the reins and let him kind of fall so that he can realize he has to rise like you did.
Yeah, we're definitely our own people, and as a Christian, I do believe that God, has him. So, I mean, I don't always believe this, but I do believe that God is going to take care of him and provide for him, whatever that looks like. But as a mother, it's just anxiety inducing to think about him getting to that place because I just want to care for him.
Yeah, you want to protect him.
Right.
From the unknown. Because the unknown sounds like the unknown's scary for you too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that he'll end up homeless or on the streets, but he could. It's a reality. I mean, in all, I think that probably what would happen is I would hope that he would somehow find his way back. I would hope that at some point, like you said, he hits maybe not rock bottom, but just a low point in life, and then realizes for himself, without me yelling at him or scolding him, that he would know for himself.
Yeah.
About these things.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that would take a lot of pressure off you too. Without having to constantly be checking in, maybe just taking some time for you. What would that look like, right?
That would be nice. Yeah, I mean, I really have spent like day after day just talking to my husband every single day about this. And I wonder what it would look like if I had time to worry about anything else. On top of work and just checking in with the kids and spending time with my husband. When is the last time I got a pedicure? I don't know.
Everyone needs one of them occasionally. Yeah. How does your husband, how does he feel about this situation?
He's pretty uninvolved in it. And actually I feel like I'm often confronting him about this and like, why are you so calm about this? Why don't you care as much as I do? And he always reminds me that it's not that he doesn't care as much as I do. It's kind of like what you were saying, that sometimes people have to come to their own conclusions, and it's just like kind of, it's beyond me to start thinking that way. It'd probably be a lot less stressful.
Oh yeah.
If I thought that way, but I don't right now. I would like to.
Yeah, maybe that's some things that you can begin to work on, is focusing more on you. What it sounds like to me is that you come from like a super, strong work ethic. You have great morals. You're an amazing mother. And then hopefully, he can reflect on that. Do you think, can you really see him, going to like absolute homelessness?
Well, I don't know. I would hope not. But what you said about just showing him what it could look like to take care of myself, maybe that is what he needed. And it's very hard for me. I don't know if I'm going to get there anytime soon. I would like to start taking care of myself a little bit more, but I am a little bit overcome by the worry and the anxiety that comes with all of this.
what I think that we should work on for next session is just writing down those feelings. And that way, instead of, just acting on impulse and on that worry and that anxiety that you have and that you're, kind of consumed with, maybe just writing down on the piece of paper how you're feeling really takes time and thought to put exactly what you would say out of that, anxiety feeling. And then, you can bring it in and read it and see if there's anything you want to change. And if not, then maybe we can send it out together. You're not alone in this.
Mm. That actually does sound a lot less scary. So I'll try that and wish me luck.
All right, I'll see you next week, Michelle.
Thank you.
You're welcome.